Good afternoon, YouTube. We're north of Dayton, Ohio in Vandalia and Butler Township. I'm going to show one of the better economically thriving areas in the Dayton region, if not the best one. This is Miller Lane, which is off of Dixie Drive and right by Interstate 75. And this is one of the more thriving business districts. There's more restaurants here than anything else, and most of them are doing pretty good. You got some shopping and hotels, so we're just going to look around and see how things are here. And this is going to be one of my more positive videos. And I want to say I've been critical of the amount of restaurants and hotels and shopping being way too high in this country, but this is actually one of the areas where it's actually doing pretty good as far as that goes. This might be a 2 or 3 part video yet. I have not made up my mind yet. Cracker Barrel here is pretty full. They're doing pretty good business right now. Arby's, well, so they don't look like they're doing that hot. There's only a few. There's no customers on that side. There's a few on the other side. Here you got some hotels right there, Quality Inns and Suites. And in general, it's very hard to find space in this part of the country. Here we got Saki Japanese Steakhouse. They look like they got a few customers, but not too much there. Here we got Valero gas station. There's a couple. There's one person look like they're getting gas there, and then that's about it. And here's another look at Cracker Barrel again. You know, this area, years ago, I grew up in this area, and prior to about 15 years ago, nothing was really built up on this side of, on this area till probably in the mid to late 90s. All the restaurants came in, and it pretty well became the restaurant mecca of the region here. And this area has done fairly good. You have a combination of a lot of customers here. You have a lot of people that live in Vandalia here. And Vandalia, much like the rest of this part of the country and Dayton, does have an older population in general here. And businesses here are still doing fairly good. You got a lot of people from Huber Heights that come in this area as well. Here's Comfort Inn Hotel right here. They look like there's several people booked here. You got Quality Inns and Suites. This is probably one of the more lower class hotels up here. It's a cheaper place to stay at here. And in general up here, you really do not find that much empty space. But however, there is some right over here, and I'm going to cross the street. And even though most of these businesses and restaurants and hotels are doing fairly good, there is a limit to, I believe, what an area can really do, to what you can really do with that area. Here at this little shopping plaza, Miller Commons, there's only 2 people here, and I believe this was Fitworks. Years ago, you got Verizon Wireless and Liquid Nick's Premium Shop and Lounge right here. So right here, and there's only maybe a few customers in this area. There's 4 vacancies. Actually, this area, it's actually hard to actually find vacancies in this area in general, because this area, compared to most areas in the Dayton region, is doing quite well and prosperous. But as you can see, there is 4 vacancies in this little plaza right here. So although this area looks all fine and dandy, it's not there, like I said, there is a limit to how much you can really do here. Here's Hampton Inns and Suites. This is a Marriott. Well, no, this ain't a Marriott hotel. I thought it might be. This might be a Marriott, Hampton Inns and Suites. And there's a few customers parked outside of here. I hang out in this area a lot because I have family that lives in this area. I don't live specifically on this side of town, but Hampton Inns and Suites looks like they're doing fairly well and has some customers right here. Charlie's, they look like they got about 20 or 30 customers here, although there is plenty of empty spaces in the parking lot. So they're doing so this is prime lunch hour at 12:30, and just showing you guys this area in general here. And here's another Marriott hotel off in the distance, the Residence Inn right here. These are some of the more expensive hotels here. I'm just going to zoom in on this right here. They look like there's some customers at the Residence Inn. I don't know how many, but that's typically some of the more expensive hotels right here. Here on this side, we got the Fairfield Marriott Inn right here. And I'm going to give you guys, this is probably going to be one of my longer videos, but I have not decided when I'm going to end this one. It's very well possible I might make this 2 or 3 part video, but if not, I'll just do it all in one big shot here. Here you got the Marriott right here, and as I said, you know, and they're actually pretty full. A lot of cars right here. Now, just south of this in Northridge, the businesses are not doing so good over there, but they're doing fairly decent here. Here's the sign for the Fairfield and Marriott here. And in this area, you have a wide variety of customers. You know, you got people that go back and forth between Dayton and Troy to shop here. Here's Asian Buffet. I eat lunch here a few times a month. They're actually pretty good, and their parking lot is doing pretty good. Their parking lot is almost all the way full. They're pretty affordable for lunch, 9 hours, all you could eat buffet, which is pretty good here. And I'm gonna cross the street back here in a few minutes as I cover more and more of this area. Here you got Max and Irma's. They're a little bit more expensive. They're one of the more expensive restaurants here. But as you can see, their parking lot for lunch is actually pretty full. And over here you got Sam's Club right over in this area. And in general, there's not as many Sam's Clubs as there used to be because it's owned by Walmart, and really since Walmart's had a lot of the super centers, you really don't see a lot of investing in those in general anymore. And I'm gonna cross the street in a few minutes and show you guys a closer look at that parking lot over there. And this is Just beyond this tree, we got Skyline Chili. They look like they got about 15 or so customers. So right here, they're doing pretty. They're doing decent for lunch right here, and they're doing decent here. So all right, here's a good look at the Sam's Club parking lot without me crossing the street right now. There's probably a good 60-70% of the parking lot is full right here. This is actually one of the first retail establishment that came into this area, because this came in before the Walmart and all the other little shops that came in, because Vandalia was never really a prime retail spot. A lot of the retail stuff has always been in other surrounding communities in years past, like Englewood, Trotwood. Of course, Trotwood's went downhill, Huber Heights, and we really didn't have much retail space up here. This is considered Vandalia, Butler Township. They kind of traded barbs. Now, this is one of the restaurants that actually did close up here, and you don't find too much of this. This was a Longhorn Steakhouse or Texas Roadhouse right here, and they are vacant. So as I said, even though this area is doing well, there are limits to what you could really do here. Here we got Hooters right here, and they look like they got about 40 or 50 cars. 40 or 50 cars right here in general right here. And so they're doing fairly good, I guess. And this is this empty spot right here. I'm just gonna show you this to you. This is, as I said, in general, there's not too much of this in general up here, but here you got Frickers right here. Their motto is good food, good times. They look like they got around 60 or 70. They look like they got around 30 or 40 cars here, so they're not doing bad lunch-wise. Frickers is not. So and next to it, we got a few more restaurants here. You got Outback Steakhouse. They look like they got about 15 or 20 customers, so they're not doing, I don't know, they're not doing all that, you know, good lunch-wise right now, but they're doing okay, I guess. They're doing the best they can, I guess, you know, given the situation, you know, economic times as rough as they are. Here's a little view of the Outback Steakhouse. You look like you got about 10 or 15 cars here. Here's a few other little restaurants. Cold Stone Creamery, Great Clips. The Casanos looks like they got a few customers, not a whole lot. Cold Stone Creamery. Casanos is one of the older pizza chains we got in our area. Their founder was from this area, Vic Casano, and he's from this part of the country. So that is a locally owned, you know, business, you know, for a while, which that is a good thing. And here we got El Toro Mexican bar, and they're doing so. They got about 10 or 15 customers, so they're doing so. It's kind of hard for everybody to have a piece of the pie when there's, you know, so much of this. As I said, there is limits to what an area can realistically, you know, do per se. And this is Chipotle across the street. They look like they got about 15, 20 cars, so they're doing fairly well. That's not a big place. Tim Hortons, which is more of a breakfast place, they only got maybe 7 or 8 cars, so you can't really expect them to do that well, because that's more of a breakfast food type of thing. And here you got Smoky Bones Bar and Fire Grill right here. And they look like they got around 30 or 40 customers right here at Smoky Bones. And across the street you got a couple other businesses. International Diamond Jewelers right here. I'm not exactly sure how much business they are doing today per se, but it's pretty humid outside today. We've had a rainy week, and Smoky Bones, actually they look like they might have closer to 50 to 60 or 70 cars here, but they do share a parking lot with Olive Garden. But you got a couple other places right here. Smash Burger right here, and here you got the Olive Garden, which is a pretty upscale restaurant. I'm not going inside these businesses right now to film. I'm just showing the outside to show what things are looking like at lunch hour per se. And Smash Burger, they look like they're doing somewhat decent here for the time being. Here we got more hotels right here. There's a few more restaurants I'm going to cover, then I'm going to go to the other side of the street here and show Walmart and a few of the other businesses around here. I think I'm going to make this a one-part video. It's going to be longer, but that's okay with me. Here's some of the other businesses on the other side of this plaza right here. You got Batteries, Bulbs Plus, Luxury Nails, Salon and Spa, and they look like they're doing fairly decent here. Here we got another restaurant being built here. It looks like another restaurant. I'm not exactly sure what this is going to be, but here's the extended stay parking lot, and there's several cars here, so it looks like they're probably half capacity, possibly. I'm not exactly sure what, but it's good to see an area like this, you know, that's prospering in the area, because this area has really turned into it's really a restaurant mecca more than anything else. Although you do have the other things, it's more of a restaurant mecca. You look like you got around 25, 30 cars parked at this hotel right here. Golden Corral is doing a pretty good business. I'll zoom in closer to them here, and they're doing pretty good business wise. I do see Office Depot over there. There does not look to be that many people out buying office supplies, but there's been some reports that Office Depot is going to downsize a bunch of their stores here very soon. Here's the Drury Inns and Suites. There's only about 4 cars on this side. I'm assuming that's probably employee parking right here. And here, and I guess this is probably the more customer side of the business right here in general. Here's Panera Bread, and Panera Bread is absolutely packed. I would assume around 60 to 80 cars. There doesn't look to be that many spaces right here. So Panera Bread is doing pretty well. I've never ate there, but they are thriving pretty good at this lunch hour on a Saturday. And there's no reason why people cannot be out thriving for lunch hour. Now, Golden Corral across the street looks like they are doing fairly well. Most of their parking lot's full. They got about 30 to 40% empty, but that is still very good. I've ate there a couple times on Mother's Day. They have an absolutely wonderful breakfast buffet from 7:30 to 11. So, and it's only around $7 or $8. So there's a plug for Golden Corral if you guys are in the area for breakfast right here. Here's Red Lobster, and they are doing fairly good business-wise. We're about almost 21 minutes into the video right now, and Red Lobster, they look like they got around 40 or so cars. Their parking lot is by no means full, but it's by no means empty right here. And here you got Steak and Shake. You got around 30 or 40 cars here, so they're doing fairly well business-wise right here. And so that is good to see. I am crossing the street right now. Here's a closer look at Golden Corral Steak and Shake right here. That's mainly handicapped parking, so there's not a lot of people that are parking there. And you do see some available retail space back here. They're always looking to build something in this area. There is some wetlands here that they are trying to remove, because without that they cannot build on this area, because that has to be removed first, and that can be a very long and daunting process right here. Office Depot, there was really nobody I hardly seen in the parking lot here, so I'm probably not going to get too close to them, because there was really hardly anybody there buying office supplies today. It seemed not. But here we got I'm just going to show these other businesses, and then I'm going to loop back around to the Walmart area, because I've showed quite a bit of this area already. And here's one of the gas stations in the area.